The village rule was simple. If you hear the whistle, don't move. They ran. Chapter 1. The Rule. The car stopped. The engine was quiet. Detective James Meek opened the door. The air was cold. He was not in the city now. He was in a place called Karas. Karas was a small village. It was very far away. Mountains stood on all sides. A dark forest was next to the village. The forest was called the Whisper Wood. Detective Meek looked at the village. The houses were old. They were made of dark wood. No children played. No people talked in the street. It was silent. Too silent. A woman waited for him. She was old. Her face was full of lines. Her name was Ilara. She was the village elder. "You are the detective," she said. Her voice was low. "I am," Meek said. "I am here for the missing people. 4 of them." Ilara nodded slowly. "They are not missing," she said. "They are gone." "What does that mean?" Meek asked. "It means the forest took them." Ilara turned. She walked toward the forest. Meek followed her. The village was quiet, but the forest was quieter. The trees were very tall. They blocked the sunday. It was dark under the trees. They stopped at the edge of the wood. "We do not go in," Ilara said. "The police from the next town came. They looked. They found this." She pointed. On the ground, there were 4 backpacks. They were new. They were bright colors: red, blue, green, and yellow. They looked wrong in the dark forest. "They are the tourists," Meek said. "Yes, 4 young people. They came 2 days ago. They wanted to see the Whisper Wood." Ilara pointed again. "Look." Meek saw a phone on the ground. It was black. The screen was cracked. He picked it up. He pressed the button. The screen glowed. There was one video file, the last file. "The battery is almost dead," Meek said. He pressed play. The video started. It was shaky. A young man was holding the camera. He was walking. "This is Ben," he said. He turned the camera. "And this is Mark, Sarah, and Lisa." A man and 2 women smiled. They were young. They looked happy. "Lisa is from Karas," Ben said. "She is our guide. She knows the scary stories." The girl, Lisa, laughed. "It is not scary. It is just quiet. My father told me the rules." "Rules?" said Mark. "What rules?" "Just one, really," Lisa said. "A very simple rule." The camera moved. They were walking deeper into the forest. The trees were thick. "What is the rule?" Mark asked again. Lisa stopped walking. "The rule is about the whistle." "The whistle?" "If you hear the whistle," Lisa said, "you must not move. You must not run. You stand still. You look at the ground. You wait. When the whistle stops, you can move." Ben laughed. "What whistle? A bird?" "I do not know," Lisa said. "It is just the rule. My father, everyone. They say you must not run." The video was quiet for a moment. They just walked. The forest looked dark. Then, there was a sound. It was low. It was soft. A simple 2-note whistle. "Who? Who?" The camera shook. "What was that?" Ben whispered. Lisa's face was white. She was very, very afraid. "The whistle," she whispered. "It's just a bird, Lisa," Mark said. "No," she said. "Stand still. Do not move. Look at the ground. Now." The whistle came again. Who? Who? It sounded closer. Ben turned the camera. He looked left. He looked right. There was nothing, just trees. "I don't see anything," Ben said. His voice was high. "Ben, stop!" Lisa cried. "Don't move, don't!" The whistle was loud now. It was not a bird. It was clean and cold. Ben panicked. "I'm leaving," he said. He started to run. "Ben, no!" Lisa screamed. Mark and Sarah looked at each other. They were afraid. They started to run, too. "Wait! Don't run!" Lisa shouted. The camera was bouncing. All Meek could see was green and brown. The whistle was very loud. It was everywhere. Then Lisa screamed. The camera fell. It hit the ground. The screen showed the dark leaves. The video ended. The phone battery died. Detective Meek stood at the edge of the forest. He held the dark phone. "They ran," he said. Alara nodded. Her eyes were sad. "The village rule is simple," Elara said. "If you hear the whistle, you don't move." "And they ran," Meek finished. "Yes, Detective," Elara said. "They ran." Meek looked into the dark forest. It was 3 p.m., the same time the video was made. "Where are they now?" Meek asked. Elara looked at the tall trees. "The forest has them," she said. The whistle came. The rule was broken. The forest. It always takes them. Meek put the phone in his pocket. He was a man from the city. He did not believe in stories. He believed in facts. "Someone made that whistle," Meek said. "A person. And that person took those 4 people." "No," Elara said. "You are wrong. It was not a person. It was the forest, and you will not find them." Meek stepped over the line. He put his foot on the dark soil of the Whisper Wood. "I am going to look," he said. Elara did not try to stop him. She just watched him. "You can look, Detective," she said. "But be careful. The forest is watching, and it does not like new people." Meek walked past the 4 backpacks. He walked into the shadow of the trees. He walked to the place where the camera fell. There was nothing. No blood. No tracks. No sign of a fight. It was just empty ground. 4 people. Gone. Meek looked up. The trees were tall. He felt very small. He felt very cold. He stood there for a long time. The only sound was his own breathing. The Whisper Wood was waiting. Chapter 2. The Silent Village. Detective Meek returned to the village. The sun was going down. The mountains made big shadows. The shadows covered Karis. The village was dark. No lights were on in the houses. Meek looked at the windows. He saw faces. Old faces. Young faces. They looked at him. When he looked back, they moved away. They hid behind curtains. The people were afraid. He went to Alara's house. It was the biggest house. It was in the center of the village. Alara was inside. A small fire was in the fireplace. "The forest is dark now," Alara said. You must not go back." "I need answers," Meek said. "I need to talk to Lisa's family." Ilara nodded. "Her father, Gregor. His house is at the end of the street. But he will not talk." "Why?" "He lost his daughter," Ilara said. "And she knew the rule. She knew it her whole life. But she ran." Meek walked down the dark street. The air was colder now. He found the house. It was small. The door was closed. He knocked. No answer. He knocked again, louder. "Mr. Gregor? I am Detective Meek. I need to talk about your daughter, Lisa." He heard a sound inside. A chair moving. The door opened a little. A man's eye looked out. The man was old. His hair was gray. His eyes were red. "Go away," Gregor said. His voice was broken. "Sir, I am investigating. I saw the video." Lisa tried to stop them. "She did not stop them," Gregor whispered. "She ran. She ran with them. She broke the rule. My daughter, she knew. She knew." He started to cry. "Mr. Gregor, what is the whistle? Who makes it?" Gregor's eye looked wild. "The forest. The forest makes it. It is the guardian. It protects the woods. We do not go in. We respect the woods. They did not respect it. They were loud. They laughed. The forest does not like noise. A forest cannot make a whistle, Mr. Gregor." "You do not understand," Gregor shouted. He opened the door. He was holding a small piece of wood. "It is the guardian. It warns us. The whistle is a warning. Stand still. Show respect, or it takes you. Takes you where?" "Down," Gregor whispered. "Into the earth. Into the roots. They are gone, Detective. My Lisa is gone." He closed the door. Meek heard the lock click. Meek stood in the dark street. This was not a normal case. The whole village believed a story. He went to the small inn. It was the only place with a light on. The innkeeper was a large man. He did not smile. "I need a room," Meek said. The man gave him a key. "Room 3. Do not open the window at night. Do not go outside." "Why?" "It is the rule," the man said. "The village rule?" "No, the night rule." Meek went to his room. It was small. The bed was hard. The window looked out at the forest. The whisper wood was a black wall in the night. Meek sat on the bed. He was tired. He looked at the phone from the forest. It was useless. He looked at his own phone. No signal. Of course. He was alone. He tried to sleep, but he could not. The silence was too heavy. He thought about the video. The whistle. Who? It was a simple sound. A person could make that sound. Why did they run? They were young. They were from the city. They did not believe the stories, but Lisa did. Lisa was from Karis. And she ran. Why did she run? Did she see something? Something the camera did not see? Meek went to the window. He looked at the dark forest. He felt something. He felt he was being watched. He looked at the tree line. The trees were black shapes. Was something moving? No, nothing. Just the wind. But there was no wind. The air was still. Meek closed the curtain. He locked the window. He sat in the chair. He did not sleep. He waited for the morning. He listened. He listened for a whistle, but the night was silent. The next morning, Meek woke up. The sun was up. The village looked normal. People were outside. They were working. They did not talk much. Meek went to the innkeeper. "I need a map of the forest," he said. The innkeeper shook his head. "There is no map. We do not go in." "Does anyone go in?" "Only Gregor. He is a woodcarver. He gets wood, but he only goes to the edge. He does not go deep." Meek went back to Gregor's house. He knocked. Gregor opened the door. He looked tired. "Mr. Gregor, I need your help. You know the forest." "I only know the edge," Gregor said. "Where did you find the wood? You carve birds, yes?" Meek remembered the small piece of wood in Gregor's hand. "Yes. Birds. Show me where you work. Please." Gregor looked at Meek. He saw the detective would not leave. "Fine," Gregor said. "Come." He led Meek behind his house. There was a small shed. Inside it smelled like pine and earth. The shed was full of wooden birds, hundreds of them. They were beautiful. They were carved from dark wood. "You make these?" Meek asked. "Yes, I sell them." Meek looked at the birds. They were all the same type. "What bird is this?" Meek asked. "A forest bird. A whisper bird, we call it." Meek picked one up. It was smooth. It was heavy. "Mr. Gregor," Meek said, "I have heard many bird sounds. I have never heard one like the whistle on that video." Gregor's face became hard. It was not a bird. It was the guardian. Meek looked at the workbench. It was covered in tools, knives, saws, and a small, carved piece of wood. It was not a bird. It was a whistle. It was small, like a pipe. Meek picked it up. "What is this?" Meek asked. Gregor's eyes opened wide. He tried to take it. "It is nothing," he said. Meek held it up. "This is a whistle, isn't it? A bird call." "No, it is just a toy." Meek put the whistle to his lips. He blew gently. A low, soft sound came out. "Who? Who?" It was the sound from the video. It was the exact same sound. Meek looked at Gregor. The old man was shaking. "You?" Meek said. "You were in the forest. You made the sound." Gregor's face was white. "You did not. You do not understand," Gregor stammered. "You scared them?" Meek said. His voice was hard. "You scared them, and they ran. Where are they, Gregor? Where's your daughter?" Gregor fell to his knees. I did not mean to," he cried. "I just wanted to scare them. They were loud. They were laughing. I wanted to teach them respect. I just wanted them to leave." "Where did they run?" Meek shouted. "They ran. They ran toward the swamp, the soft ground. I whistled again. I tried to make them stop, but they thought I was the guardian. They ran faster. Oh, Lisa, they ran faster." Chapter 3. The soft ground. The swamp. Meek grabbed Gregor's arm. "Show me. Now." Gregor was crying. He could barely walk. Meek pulled him. They ran through the village street. People stopped. They watched. "He knows," Meek shouted to them. "Gregor knows where they are. The swamp." Alara heard. She came out of her house. "The swamp? The soft ground? No." "Get shovels," Meek commanded. "Get ropes. Now." The villagers did not move. They were afraid of the swamp. "Your children," Meek said. "Lisa is there." That made them move. Men ran to get tools. Gregor led Meek to the forest. He did not stop at the edge. He went in. He followed a small path, a path only he knew. "I followed them," Gregor cried. "They were loud. They left an easy trail. I got ahead of them." "I waited." "You waited to scare them?" "Yes, just to make them run back to the village. I used the whistle, the one I made, the whisper bird call." "But they ran the wrong way," Meek said. "Yes, they ran. Deep. Into the forest. Toward the swamp. I shouted. I called Lisa's name. But they did not hear me. They just ran. I ran after them. They walked for 20 minutes. The trees became thin. The ground became wet. The smell was bad. It smelled like old water. Like rot. This was the swamp. It was not a big swamp, but it was green and dark. The mud looked thick. They ran. "This way," Gregor said. He pointed. Meek saw it. A piece of blue cloth. It was on a branch. "That is Mark's jacket," Gregor said. Meek walked carefully. The ground was soft. His boots sank into the mud. He followed the marks. Broken branches. Deep footprints that stopped. "Where did they go?" Gregor asked. Meek looked at the mud. They fell. He saw something in the green water. It was black. He reached down. He pulled it out. It was the camera. Ben's camera. It was covered in mud. But it was not the phone. This was the real camera. "They fell in," Meek said. He looked at the mud pool. It was still. "Lisa," Gregor whispered. Meek saw a flash of red, near the edge. He walked closer. The mud tried to pull his boots. He reached. He grabbed the red cloth. It was a backpack. He pulled it. It was heavy. It came free from the mud with a sick sound. Thwack. It was Sarah's red backpack. "They are in there," Meek said. His voice was quiet. They ran. They did not see the swamp. They fell in. Gregor made a terrible sound. He fell to his knees in the wet ground. "My daughter. My Lisa. I did this. I killed my own daughter." The other villagers arrived. They had ropes and shovels. They saw Gregor. They saw Meek. They saw the swamp. They understood. They worked for hours. The sun was high. It was hot in the swamp. They pulled. The mud was deep. They found Ben first. He was still holding his camera strap. They found Mark and Sarah. They were holding each other. And last they found Lisa. Her eyes were open. They were full of terror. Gregor looked at his daughter. His face was empty. The villagers wrapped the bodies. They carried them back to Karis. The village was not silent now. The sound of crying was everywhere. Meek took Gregor to the village inn. He sat him in a chair. "You are under arrest," Meek said. Gregor just nodded. He did not speak. You wanted to protect a story, Meek said. A legend. I wanted to protect the forest, Gregor whispered. The forest is quiet. It is our home. They were disrespectful. I just wanted them to go. You made the whistle, Meek said. You scared them. Yes. You are the guardian. You are the whistler. Yes, Gregor said. Alara was standing in the doorway. She heard. Her face was hard. You, she said to Gregor. You used our story. You used our fear. You did this. I did not mean for this, Gregor cried. You broke the rule, Alara said. The real rule. You did not respect life. You are not the guardian. You are a fool. The case was closed. Meek used the police radio in his car. It finally got a weak signal. He called for transport. He called for a coroner. He told them the story. The tragic, simple story. An old man. A stupid prank. A terrible accident. The mystery was solved. Chapter 4. The second whistle. The next day a car came. It took Gregor away. He did not look back. Another car came. It took the 4 bodies. The village of Karis was quiet again. But it was a different quiet. It was a sad quiet. The fear was gone. Now, there was only grief. Detective Meek packed his small bag. It was time to leave. His job was done. Alara came to see him. You found them? She said. Gregor's whistle, Meek said. He confessed. He is a fool, Alara said. He let a story become more important than people. Is the story true, Alara? Meek asked. The guardian, the real whistle. Alara looked at the forest, the dark wall of trees. The forest is old, she said. We tell the story to make people respect it, to keep them safe. The swamp is real. The ground is soft. The trees are easy to get lost in. The story, it is a warning. So, there is no guardian. Alara did not answer. She just looked at Meek. Thank you, detective. You gave us answers. We can bury our daughter now. She turned and walked away. Meek put his bag in his car. He was ready to go. He wanted to leave Karis. He wanted to be back in the city. He looked at his watch. It was 2:59 p.m. He remembered the video, the time of the whistle. He paused. He looked at the forest. He was a man of facts. The case was closed. Gregor was the whistler. The whistle was a fake. But he waited. The clock on his car dashboard changed. 3 p.m. The village was silent. Meek listened. Nothing. Of course, nothing. Gregor was gone. Meek smiled. He opened his car door. Who? Meek froze. His hand was on the door. He heard it. It was not loud. It was soft. It was very clear. It was a whistle. It was not Gregor's whistle. Gregor's whistle was a tool. It was a simple, 2-note sound. This sound, it was different. It was cold. It was alive. It sounded like it was coming from the village. No, it was coming from the forest. No, it was coming from everywhere. Meek stood perfectly still. He remembered the rule. If you hear the whistle, you do not move. His heart was beating. Thump, thump, thump. He was a city detective. He did not believe in stories, but he did not move. He looked at the ground. He looked at his shoes. Who? The sound was closer. He felt a cold wind, but the leaves on the trees were not moving. He wanted to run. He wanted to get in his car. He wanted to drive away. They ran. He thought of Lisa. He thought of her face. He stood still. He was afraid. The whistling continued. It did not stop. It felt like it was moving around him. It was inspecting him. He closed his eyes. He counted. 1, 2, 3. He counted to 60. 1 full minute. Then, the whistling stopped. It was just gone. The air was still. The silence returned. But it was not a sad silence. It was an old silence. A heavy silence. Meek opened his eyes. He looked up. The forest was watching him. He looked at the village. The houses were silent. He got in his car. He started the engine. The sound was loud in the quiet. He drove away from Karas. He drove fast. He did not look back. He drove for an hour. The mountains were behind him. He was on the main road. He saw other cars. He saw signs. He was back in the normal world. He stopped the car. He was shaking. He opened his glove box. He looked inside. He had kept one of Gregor's wooden birds. The whisper bird. It was just a piece of wood. He thought about the 2 whistles. Gregor's whistle, the man-made sound, and the second whistle, the 3 p.m. whistle. The mystery of the 4 tourists was solved, but the mystery of the whisper wood was not. The case was closed, but the story was not. Meek put the car in gear. He drove toward the city. He never wanted to hear a whistle again. Chapter 5. The City Desk. 6 months passed. Detective Meek was back in the city. The city was loud. Cars. People. Noise. Meek liked the noise. The noise was safe. He was at his desk. It was covered in paper. A new case. A robbery. A man stole a TV. It was simple. It was normal. He drank his coffee. It was bad coffee. His boss, Captain Miller, walked over. "Meek," Miller said. "That report from Karas, the one 6 months ago, the 4 tourists." Meek looked up. "The swamp case." "Gregor?" "Yes, Captain. I am reading the coroner's report. It is strange." "Strange?" "They drowned. They suffocated in the mud." "Yes, they suffocated," Miller said. 3 of them did. The man Ben, the other man Mark, the woman Sarah. Their lungs were full of mud. Simple. Meek waited. "And the 4th? The girl, Lisa, the local girl. What about her?" "Her lungs were clean." Meek put his coffee down. "What?" "No mud," Miller said. "No water. She did not drown." "But she was in the swamp." "They found her. She was under the mud." "I know, but she did not drown," the coroner said. "She died before she went into the mud." "How?" Miller read the report. "Cause of death: Heart failure. Her heart just stopped. She died of fright. Meek was silent. He remembered the video. Lisa's white face. "Don't run," she had screamed. She was afraid. She knew the rule. She was so scared. Her heart stopped. Meek whispered. "Yes," Miller said. "Gregor. That old man. He scared his own daughter to death." Miller shook his head. "A terrible thing. Anyway, finish the robbery report." Miller walked away. Meek sat at his desk. The noise of the city was gone. He heard the silence of the forest. Lisa did not die in the swamp. She died before the swamp. She died when she heard the whistle. Gregor's whistle. But why? She knew Gregor. She knew he carved those whistles. Did she know the sound? Maybe she did not. Or Meek opened his desk drawer. He took out the small wooden bird from Karis. He looked at it. Lisa was from Karis. She knew the rule. The rule: if you hear the whistle, don't move. Why? What happens if you move? The Guardian. Ilara's story. It takes you. Gregor's prank was stupid, but it did not kill 3 people. The swamp killed 3 people. Fear killed Lisa. But what if? What if the rule was real? Meek thought about the second whistle, the one he heard. The 3 p.m. whistle, the one that was not Gregor, the one that was cold and real. He stood up. "Captain," Meek said, I need to take a few days off." "Off? Meek, you have the robbery case." "It is important," Meek said. He went to his car. He did not go home. He drove. He drove away from the city. He drove east, back toward the mountains. He had to know. Was Gregor the only whistler? Or was Gregor just a fool who made noise and woke something up? He had to go back. He had to go back to Karis. Chapter 6. The Empty Village. It took 5 hours to drive to Karis. When Meek arrived, it was late afternoon. The sun was going down. The village looked wrong. The houses were still there, but they were empty. Meek stopped his car. The engine was quiet. There were no lights, no smoke from chimneys. "Hello?" Meek called. His voice was small. He got out of the car. The village was abandoned. The doors were open. Wind blew leaves down the street. "Ilara?" Meek shouted. "Hello?" He went to Ilara's house. The door was open. Inside it was cold. The fireplace was full of ash. A piece of paper was on the table. Meek picked it up. It was Ilara's writing. "It is too loud. We are leaving. The forest needs quiet. We go to the northern valley." Meek went to the inn. It was empty. He went to Gregor's house. The shed was open. All the wooden birds were gone. The village was a ghost town. The people of Karis had left. Meek stood in the empty street. He looked at the whisper wood. The forest was the same. Dark, tall, silent. Why did they leave? It is too loud. What was too loud? Meek looked at his watch. It was 2:50 p.m. He did not plan this. He was here. It was almost time. He had to know. He walked to the edge of the forest. He stood where the backpacks were found. He waited. The air was cold. 2:57 p.m. The world was holding its breath. 2:58 p.m. Silence. 2:59 p.m. He listened. He heard his own heart. 3 p.m. Who? The sound, the real sound. It was soft. Meek stood perfectly still. He looked at the ground. He did not move. The whistle came again, louder. Who? It was not one whistle. It was two. No. It was three. It was many. The sound was coming from all around, from the trees, from the air. A chorus of cold, clear whistles. Meek's body was stiff. He was terrified. He did not move. He kept his eyes on the ground. He saw his shoes. He saw the dead leaves. The whistling was loud now. It was angry. It felt like it was looking for something. It was looking for movement. Meek did not breathe. The sound was deafening. It was inside his head. Who? He felt something move. On the ground. Near his foot. He wanted to look. He needed to look. He fought the urge. He stayed still. A leaf was moving. But there was no wind. The leaf was being pushed from below. The ground. The dark forest soil. It was moving. It was rising, like something was pushing up from under the earth. Meek's mind screamed, "Run!" But the video played in his head. "Lisa, don't run." He did not move. He was shaking. But he did not move his feet. The whistling stopped. Instantly. The silence was so fast, it hurt his ears. He waited. 1 minute. 2 minutes. He slowly looked up. The forest was empty. The trees were still. He looked down at his feet. The ground was flat. The leaf was still. Was it real? Did he imagine it? He looked closer. The soil was different. It was dark, but right where the ground had moved, it was disturbed, and something was there. It was not a wooden bird. It was white. Meek knelt. He touched it. It was bone, a small bone, a human finger bone. The forest. It did take them. It took them down. Gregor's whistle just made them run. They ran. And the real guardian, it heard them. The rule was real. The rule was not a story to keep people safe from swamps. The rule was to keep people safe from the ground. It is too loud. The villagers left. They knew. Gregor's whistle. The screams. The police. The cars. All the noise. It woke the forest up. Meek stood up. He backed away. He did not turn his back. He walked backwards. Out of the forest. He got in his car. He started the engine. He drove away. He did not stop until he saw the Sunday. Chapter 7, The Last Rule. Detective Meek was at his desk. It was 3 a.m. The city was quiet. He was writing. He was not writing a police report. He was writing a letter. He was writing his resignation. "I cannot be a detective," he wrote. "A detective finds facts. The facts I found They do not belong in this world. He finished the letter. He put his badge in an envelope. He left it on his desk. He went to his apartment. He packed a bag. A small bag. He took one thing from his desk drawer, the wooden bird from Karis. He drove his car to the edge of the city. He sold it. He took a bus. He went north. He did not know where he was going. He just knew he had to be somewhere. Quiet. He found a small town by the sea. The sea was loud. The waves crashed. Meek liked this sound. It was a good sound. It was strong. It was not a whistle. He found a small house. He rented it. He found a job. He worked on a fishing boat. The work was hard. His hands became rough. He did not talk much. The other fishermen liked him. They said he was a good listener. He did not tell them he was a detective. He did not tell them about Karis. Years passed. Meek grew older. His hair turned gray. He was almost happy. He was quiet. He lived a simple life. He never forgot. But the memory was far away. One day, he was walking on the beach. It was afternoon. He was looking for shells. He found a piece of wood. It was smooth from the water. He put it in his pocket. He looked at his watch. He did not need to. He always knew the time. It was 2:59 p.m. He stood by the water. The waves were loud. He was not afraid. The forest was far away. 3 p.m. The waves crashed. He heard nothing. He smiled. He turned to go home. He heard a sound, over the sound of the waves. A sound he knew. Who? It was soft. It was cold. Meek froze. No, he whispered. He looked around. The beach was empty. The sea was gray. Who? It was here. How? He looked at the ground. The wet sand. He stood still. He did not move. I am not in the forest, he said. The whistling became louder. It was not in the air. It was in his head. He remembered the finger bone. He remembered the moving ground. He did not move. He was the best at standing still. The whistle continued for 1 full minute. Then it stopped. Meek was shaking. He opened his eyes. The beach was the same. He was safe. He let out his breath. He turned to walk home. He saw something on the sand. Something that was not there before. It was small. It was white. It was a shell. But Meek picked it up. It was not a seashell. It was a small, carved bird. It was made of white bone. Meek looked at it. He looked at the empty beach. He looked at the gray sea. He understood. It was not the forest. It was not the ground. It was everywhere. It had been watching him. All this time. Waiting. He had followed the rule. He had been safe. But the rule, it was not just a warning. It was a reminder. A reminder that he was seen. Meek looked at the bone bird. He closed his hand around it. He walked home. He locked his door. He knew he would never be safe. He knew he would always be listening. He would always be waiting. For 3 p.m. For the sound that was not a sound. For the guardian that was not a story. The rule was simple. Don't move. He added a new rule. Rule 2. You can never, ever run far enough.